Live. Can you see it? All right. I think that we're live now. So you want to say hi to some of our friends out there? Oh, I have to say hi first. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. We have a great show. But before we begin, I wanted to introduce you to the hottest new YouTuber that's taking over the video scene. Her name is Scotty, and she really knows how to start a show. Scotty, can you show us how to start a show?
How you start a show.
Show us how you start a YouTube channel show. Ready?
Okay. Hey everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like the show. See you tomorrow.
That was super good. Now, before we get started, can you tell everybody what types of videos you make?
I make all the TikTok videos.
You make all the TikTok videos?
Yeah, all the jokes too.
You write all the jokes for our TikTok channel?
Yeah, that's me.
Do you how can they find you? How can people watch you on TikTok?
They search for Owen Video.
They search for Owen Video. You're very smart. You're a very smart girl. And we have a great show for you guys today. Scotty's going to help me introduce our show today. And this is how the next generation's going to excel. Can you show everybody what an Air 5 is? Yeah. Air 5. Swap. All right, that's really good. I think we're just about ready to start the show here. If you guys are just logging in, we have a great show coming up for you today. We're going to be talking about business automations that you can use to grow your business. And in the meantime, we have a guest host today who's introducing her new TikTok channel at Owen Video. Scotty, what is your favorite TikTok that we've ever done?
I have two actually favorites. One is the one that was like, when it was like, is it on?
Yeah, it's on. Talk into the microphone.
Is it on? I can't tell if it's on. That one?
Yeah.
And then I have my second favorite. It's like, he passed away today. Oh my God, she's still alive.
Oh yeah, that's the one we did with the dog. She's asking me if she was saying, is it on? Is it on? She was talking about our TikTok video. She wasn't actually asking if it was on. Okay, Scotty, it's time for our show to begin. So I'm going to go ahead and take over here. You want to say goodbye to our audience?
Bye.
Okay, well, not yet. You got to help me. We're going to say stream like you mean it. You ready to do that? Okay. All right, let's get started with today's show, everybody. Give it up, by the way, for Miss Scotty Video over here. Great job, sweetie girl. I'm so proud of you for all your great work on YouTube and TikTok. Thanks for writing all the jokes for me. Okay, Carlos, are we ready to begin? Let's get the show set up. We're going to begin. Now, remember, I'll say the first part, and then you come in and you say, it's stream like you mean it with me. We'll say it together.
How long is it?
It's going to be real fast. Okay, we just got to wait for the comments to show up. Okay, Savvy Turtle's logging in, my man. Well, good to see you out there. We got a few of you logging in. As soon as we get some comments on the screen here, we will get started. Jay Hauslander, great to see you. Aditya Siyal, good to have you here. So excited that you could join us today. All right, let's get started. Are you ready? Okay. And here we go. Hey, go. It's going to be stream like you mean it. Ready? All right. Hey, on today's show, we're going to be talking about business automations that will convert your content into customers. We have a phenomenal guest today, and it's not Scotty, but Scotty's going to help me introduce the show today. But we have a phenomenal guest today, so I hope you'll get comfortable, get ready to hear some things that'll blow your mind because, and stay tuned, it's Stream Like You Mean It.
You're watching Stream Like You Mean It, where entrepreneurs and video creators like you learn to create more effective and engaging live stream shows.
Make it hot.
This show is hosted by Owen Video and powered by Restream. We're live every Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, multi-streaming on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and more. Now, here's your host, Owen Video.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Owen Video. You can give me 5. That's right. Type 5 into the comment section now. And be sure to type new if you're new to the show. We are glad that you're here. Hey, do you want to reach more people with less effort? Well, then you need to start multi-streaming like today. Multi-streaming is when you go live with video, but you go live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and lots of other platforms, multi-streaming, right? Look, Facebook views are down across the board. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Facebook views are down. It's getting harder and harder to get views on Facebook, but thanks to our sponsors over at Restream, we've been able to actually grow during Mark Zuckerberg's next algorithm change. And if you want to grow as well, I think you should get Restream right now. Let's play a quick tape of our favorite company over there at Restream.
With Restream.io, you can broadcast your message on multiple social media platforms at the same time. And with the new Restream Studio, you can go live with custom branded graphics, a chat room that pulls all your conversations into one place, and many more features. So get started today on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and more. Just visit owenvideo.com/Restream to get your free trial today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time to step up the game a little bit here. And Restream has helped us to not only have higher quality streams, but also they look cool. You know what I mean? Like I got this like title up here. I got this title down here. I got you guys in the chat all right there. And we're super glad that you're here. Michael is logging in from Switzerland. Great to see you out there. Savvy Turtle says, jazz hands. I loved it. And Savvy Turtle saying, just switching to Restream right now gave me a crisp, high-quality 16.9 frame. I agree. There's just a high-quality polish that Restream delivers, and I'm so glad that you're here. Benjamin logging in. Actually, my younger son is named Benjamin, so we're glad to have you here. And for those of you logging in on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or anywhere else on the web, we are so glad that you're here. We have a great guest today. Our guest is Yvi Heimann, and she is a business efficiency consultant helping digital entrepreneurs automate their business workflows so you can dominate your industry. I've actually known Yvi for a while. We've had meetings, we've talked together, and what I really like about her approach is that it's truly efficient. Like we hear a lot about efficiency experts, but they're really more like closet organizers, and that's cool, but that's not what we're looking for. You know, efficiency is about like getting workflows and tasks not just done, but off your plate entirely. So you don't have to spend any more mental energy thinking about them. Yvi is the leading ClickUp YouTuber with more than 3,000 subscribers, and she helps her clients organize, strengthen, and streamline their business processes into profitability and success. Yvi, welcome to the show.
Hey there. How am I supposed to follow up such a cute guest as you just had? I'm like, I'm out of here. You don't need me.
It's true. It's an unfair beginning, but I appreciate you sticking around, sharing some great tips with us today, because you really do some interesting stuff. Like unpack for us a little bit about, you know, business automations and what we're talking about when we say business automations.
When I talk about business automations, a lot of people just think about, you know, Zapier and just, okay, when I do this, do that, if back in the day.
Yeah.
But actually, automation leads a lot into understanding your business better, streamlining your business. And it's one of the big things that you should be doing before you are outsourcing. Often enough, we waste our time, or we waste our team's time with just simple processes that should be simple, because we didn't really look close at our business. But we'll dive a little bit deeper into all of that. Again, when you hear automations, don't just think of Zapier. There is way more that can happen behind the scenes to really let your business run automatically.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I do use a Zapier, and I use If This Then That. I also use Asana and other softwares to create automations. What's the difference between like a Zapier and the automations that you're talking about?
There is not necessarily difference. There is just a different point of view. So you mentioned Asana. I'm more on the ClickUp side of things. Already just laying out your processes. How often, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how often we go live, how often we build a website, how often we publish stuff on social media. Mm-hmm. Just the process of doing the work you're like, oh yeah, I know that. I've done that 1,000 times. I don't need to write this stuff down. I don't need a process.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there like, did I do that? How did I? Where? What? And you are already just using way too much brain power simply because you didn't take the 5 minutes to write the process down and have a checklist and say, yes, done, done, done.
That's so good. You know, I feel like a lot of our best automations came from a Word document, meaning that it first just came from writing it down. Like, what is step 1, step 2, step 3? And I find that this is sort of like the big difference between, you know, maybe like a 5-figure business and a 7-figure business is that automation and that recording process. Would you agree? Do you see that same problem in businesses getting to that next level in their revenue?
Yes. Yes. I'm like, one of my biggest things is always like when you're starting out, as you just said, just take pen and paper, especially when you are wanting to scale, when you are wanting to outsource, when you are wanting to do less. It's in your brain, but that also doesn't mean your brain is going to figure and remember every single step, no matter how often you've done it.
So
but you also can't outsource if you haven't, if you're not able to hand it off in some way, shape, or form. And you also can't automate it. You can't figure out where are those bottlenecks? Where is your time going? Because you don't have data points. It's just all in your perception of how you are doing things. You are just thinking maybe that's where it's going.
Yeah.
The only way to really get data and become better in what you are doing and being able to outsource and automate things is seeing how the stuff fits together and how it's working and where we're getting stuck.
Yeah, so that's really interesting because I know for me, my business completely changed when I was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago. And I had to choose between what activities I was going to spend my physical time on, which was almost none. But even beyond then, I had to, my time had to be limited to in front of the computer time, right? Because when I got sick, and I don't know if any of you guys have struggled with autoimmune disease, even mental illness, these like depression, like these things where you're not a great worker. I had to really get more done in less time, but I was making stuff up. And I remember going like, man, I wish I would have written this stuff down over the last year. So talk to me about like some of the best automations that we can start with. And I know we're going to go into some bigger issues today, but let's just like, what are some of the best automations we can start automating that every business owner should know about?
You with yourself. So the first thing that I do with my clients is get a daily method of operation. So in my case, again, I know you're a Asana guy. I'm pretty sure you have recurring tasks over there too. In ClickUp, the first thing we do is when we are trying to get into a new habit of noting things down, of making sure we are using a task management system or whatever, the first thing we do is we set up a daily method of operation, meaning a recurring task that happens Monday through Friday, whenever you start your day, that says, okay, clean out your email inbox, make sure you are checking in with your clients and following up, do this, do that. You know, those 5 things that you have to do every single morning.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do, and then sometimes you don't, or you forget one. Set up a recurring task that says, do this, do that, and that's what starts your day. Nothing else comes first. That's the first thing. And that will get you into that habit of actually looking at your processes, doing your workflows, doing the things you know you should do, but often just push off.
Yeah. And you know, it's part of that. I know how to do it, or I'm too busy right now to write this down, so I'll do it next time. And
which never happens.
Which never happens, right? Then the next
never happens.
Comes and you're like, oh, well, I'm busy this time too. Like anytime you say, I think this is like anytime you say you're busy, that's when you need to stop.
It's not your priority. That doesn't mean you are busy. It's simply not your priority.
That's so good.
What is your priority? Is your priority sitting at the computer all damn day and working your ass off?
Oh my gosh.
Or do you want to scale and be the CEO and step away from your business?
Yeah.
If that's your priority, you need to write it down, because the moment you are outsourcing,
I like it.
outscaling. We are outscaling everybody else. And you don't have your processes down, you're going to spend 3 times the amount of time. You're going to teach somebody how to do it. You then going to fix and show them how to do it, because just saying you need to do this is not going to work. You then sit next to them and walk them through it. And then you're going through it yourself again.
Yeah.
Because it didn't get done how it needed to get done.
Yeah, that was me. Like I was less lucky enough to get to six figures my first year of entrepreneurialism, but we sat there. We sat at six figures and there was no growth because I was doing everything. And I found some of the tools and some of the things that you talk about. And that's what I want to help our audience understand today. So if you have questions about automation, marketing automation, how to get more videos out, how to get more things done, how to get more things done with an outsourcer that you don't have to keep coaching all the time, ask those questions, because today we're really going to dive deep with Yvi. So Yvi, let's start with this. And I know that everybody has their own tools and their own preferences. What are the tools and the softwares that you have sort of in your toolbox that you're going to be sort of sharing with us today?
On the live streaming side, just like you, we got Restream. I'm amping it up once in a while with Ecamm. When we move into the actual task management, I am a big fan of ClickUp. Simply because it's easier for me to get my team, and we have different views in there, and we can just adjust to the personality and how people work. Go upholds my social media scheduler simply because they have built-in processes. We can talk about this in just a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Easel, they just brought out a few. Oh, do I get to nerd for a second? Easel just got me all excited. As you know, I like processes and workflows. And now I suddenly can take a collection of images like my square and my Instagram story one. I adjust the text on one and I say, update the whole collection, and all of my images are done. I'm like, I don't even have to build a workflow around this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now suddenly it's like, go VA, go just change 10 pictures within a second.
That's such an interesting part, because we hire VAs as well. And I mean, we don't call them VAs, but it's a website manager and a podcast manager. Largely, they're all VAs. But we have them doing these individual tasks. But we never hire someone unless there's a system in place first. Because what happens is you hire someone thinking that they're going to figure it out, but it doesn't work that way, does it?
Especially when you're outsourcing overseas, it's a different mentality. They are amazing and they're gonna stay on task if they know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
But if you were going out there and saying, okay, I want to get an overseas VA and I'm bringing them in as an expert, I'm sorry, if you are paying $6 an hour, you are not bringing in an expert. You are bringing in a gaffer. You are bringing in a helping hand.
That's good.
So you're going to spend so much time. And honestly, if you're a perfectionist, you're going to get mad too. If you are not able to tell them, this is exactly what I need,
100%.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Or you are paying, you can go US wide, hire a US based VA that is potentially coming out of an agency or something that has done it, but you're going to pay the price tag to it. So it's, what do you want to do?
And that's the thing, right? Is setting up these automations so that an entry level worker can come in. Now I say that, but I've got VAs that are college educated VAs, and they're young. But again, they're walking into a system. They're walking into, and then they'll help me like dial that in and refine that as we sort of go.
They're a perfect asset to clean up your workflows because they're coming in as somebody that has not seen it before. And if you empower them to say, hey, by the way, this doesn't make sense. Maybe we can move this around or something.
Yeah.
They're a perfect resource for that. But you need to start somewhere. So having those in place. And one of my favorite automation for this actually is, you know, recording your YouTube videos, you are getting everything done, you have the whole layout done.
Yeah.
But from your run of show to what's actually then on YouTube with the title, with the description, it changes, right?
Yeah.
So I have my regular YouTube workflow where I'm recording my video and I'm outlining them and I'm getting everything ready and doing all the research. But the moment the video goes live on YouTube, I have an automation that gets triggered and says, new video on YouTube. Let's make it a task in ClickUp. Let's pull in some additional information from that video. Let's add the subtasks to it that says, okay, now this needs to become a blog post. Now this needs to become additional social media content and evergreen stuff and micro and all of those.
Yeah.
It automatically adds those subtasks to it and assigns the people that need to be assigned.
Wow. Okay, let's unpack that because we've got some good questions coming in. And if you guys have questions, ask them in the chat area. We're going to do our best to answer them as they come in, as long as it's not like too distracting from the main topic. But we will get to all your questions by the end of the show. I have Carlos behind the scenes furiously copying down every question in case we miss any of them. But, you know, the biggest issue that content creators and entrepreneurs have is not actually making content. As you know, Yvi, it's easy to jump into a couple lives, to do some Instagram stories. It's not coming up with the content. It's distributing the content. You know, I know that we've had these content bottlenecks to the point where when we feel like we finally have someone to help us schedule it, like that piece of content's no longer relevant, or my hairstyle is there. Like it looks old. So let's sort of dig into what you're talking about in terms of how do you build a streamlined and automated content creation workflow?
Wouldn't it be nice if it still would work if they build it and if you build it, they will come? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, but unluckily, it doesn't work anymore like that. So we need to get it out there. Mm-hmm. And what I have for that is a content strategy. I actually got an image out there where I show, I start everything with a YouTube video, because you put a camera in front of me and a microphone, I talk for an hour, cool, we have more than enough content. You put me down and I have to type this stuff, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But in that workflow, what we do is we take that piece of content, so just that you get the rough idea, and then I'm going to talk about the task management side of things.
Okay.
We take the video, we make it into short form content, no matter if you use it on TikTok, if you use it on Instagram, if you use it on YouTube as a shorts, cool. You have so much. You have a half an hour, 45 with live shows, half an hour, 45-minute video, or even with the recorded YouTube videos, 10 to 15.
Yeah.
There is going to be knowledge bits in there. Just pick them out and reuse them. You already put that much work in it.
Yeah.
Different sizes so that you can use them in the feed or in the stories. All good. We all know that piece.
Yeah.
We then move into the whole transcribing the thing, updating on YouTube, making YouTube happy, but also pulling that written content out to build our social media posts out. I don't need a social media manager. I just need a VA with common sense that can go through that transcription and say, ooh, that's smart. That's something new, and we have a pro tip right here, and pull those out. They don't need to think. They just need to be logical to be able to determine what's good in there.
Okay. All right. That was fantastic. I hope you guys got that. And I want to just kind of bring it over to some questions. Mystery Science is asking, by the way, Mystery Science Theater, maybe, is that the thing? Used to love that show. Where do you find qualified VAs? What's your quick answer to that question?
Keep searching. Now, the best way to actually find qualified VAs is do not just post on Facebook.
Oh,
don't.
Please. Yeah.
Everybody is just going to inundate you, and we're going to end up in this whole Mac versus Windows conversation. It's not helping you any.
Yeah.
Ask your peers. When I need somebody, I go to my close business people and I ask them, hey, do you have a referral for that kind of job or for that kind of job? Know exactly what you are looking for. Don't try to find that unicorn. Don't try to find that VA that does the video editing and the transcript and the social media and don't.
No. Yeah.
One specific job. Done. And then ask your peers, because you're going to get honest feedback rather than just posting it on Facebook.
Yeah, that's really good. Now, I use recently, for the first time, I used onlinejobs.ph, and I'm really happy thus far. Some other places that you could go, you go to Fiverr and get someone. The thing with Fiverr is I feel like they could disappear, go on holiday, and you're stuck, right? And so it's a hit and miss. I had fairly good luck. We're actually in testing phase right now with Upwork. Oh,
because
good.
I was looking for something really, really specific.
Yeah.
And I was able, again, but if you are starting out and if you haven't worked with the VA before, going that route can be really time consuming and difficult, because you don't know yet what to look for, how to test them, how to put them through a trial run. So getting feedback from your business peers and say, hey, worked with them before, worked out really good. You have that better chance of not having to test them too much to see if they're a good fit.
Yeah, that's really good. I found that Elance is sort of the higher end
Yeah.
on the pay scale, whereas you can find more entry level pay scales on onlinejobs.ph. But I think the trick is having those workflows and those automations set up. That was actually Everyone Gaming's question. So Everyone Gaming, thanks for that question. Now, Mystery Science did ask this question. Do you have different workflows for evergreen versus time-sensitive content? Yvi, talk to us about that.
Yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is definitely yes. Most of my content that I create is evergreen. My YouTube videos, okay, ClickUp rolls out a lot of releases regularly, but the overall still sticks. So my regular content is usually evergreen, which we then say, okay, each piece of content gets about 5 social posts. I throw that into a Goa polls, into a queue, and it just repeats itself for like 5 times, because let's be honest, not everybody, no one is going to see the first post and the second time I do it.
How many times? So 5 times within what, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
Matters how big the queue is really, because what a Goa polls does in the queues, I don't fix schedule them. So when I talk queues, what that means is I have buckets of specific content, and those buckets have a specific time slot they're sending stuff out.
Yeah.
And it just goes just like your bowling ball. It grabs one, posts it, and then when the next time slot comes, it grabs one and posts that.
Yeah.
So usually those posts don't repeat each other within the first 30 days. Because I have so much in there by now.
Got it.
That when that same exact post comes out, it's at least a month down the road.
So this is really brilliant what you're talking about. And we actually just had Agorapulse come and speak to our video marketing school client group and share exactly that strategy where
it's a no-brainer.
And it's a little confusing at first to set it up. And I think that's going to be true for a lot of this stuff. But once it's set up, it kind of like runs forever. So what you're saying is you've got your ClickUp software. When you publish a video on YouTube, ClickUp recognizes that and then throws it into a queue in Agorapulse, where Agorapulse automatically schedules it.
No.
Okay, so walk us through that again, just so that I'm clear on the workflow.
You bet. So I have a trigger that says when YouTube publishes a new video, grab that information and make that a task in ClickUp. That task then says, hey, new video, we need to generate the 5 posts, the 5 evergreen posts. We need to make this into a blog post. And we also, before all of this happens, clean up the transcription. So ClickUp is for my action-based stuff, especially when you are outsourcing, where it goes to a VA, where it's like, hey, something happened, you need to do that. I don't have to be there to say something happened and you need to do that, because the automation takes care of that.
Yeah.
That's the assigning to team.
Got it.
Now, the moment my VA cleaned up the transcription, got the blog scheduled, and got those 5 evergreen posts done that are funneling back into YouTube, she then heads over to Agorapulse and plugs those 5 posts into the content queue.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is really not removing the human element entirely, but minimizing the human element so that it's triggering different things. Okay, that's really great. Nick Wood is logging in from the UK. By the way, Nick Wood just launched a brand new YouTube channel on how to make side hustles, and it really is something fantastic. Nick, great to see you out there. Now, he just asked a question that was, do you use scheduling software? And we kind of answered this, but indirectly. So talk to us about like that 1-2 punch, the different softwares involved in scheduling stuff.
So with the scheduling itself, it's Agorapulse. Now, interestingly, as you mentioned before, sometimes there's also timely stuff. So there's also an automation going on again, that when that YouTube video hits, it doesn't just make a task in ClickUp, it also shares it on my Facebook page. And I chose to just go with a simple you need to give it a description. You need to give it a post within Facebook. So I chose, hey, by the way, more magic happening on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because it fits with every single video that I'm posting. And it then pulls in the YouTube URL and plugs it over straight up on Facebook.
I love that.
The moment that video goes live, which means I don't have to go in and actually schedule it and do all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but yeah, when it comes down to straight scheduling things, we got the queue approach for evergreen content in the Go Up Holds.
Yeah.
But I also love them with the bulk uploading. So we generate our everyday when it has to be scheduled. So when we are doing a launch or when it's holidays, you know, the stuff that is timely, that has to go out on a specific day or even on a specific time, we build those in a spreadsheet. And we bulk upload all of that and schedule that within minutes rather than going in and doing that one post at a time.
Yeah. So here's my question then, is like, how do you balance some of the evergreen stuff and like your daily grind routine, right? With, oh my gosh, something big in the industry just happened. I need to hurry up and make this new piece of content. And then it needs to go on top of the pile. Because it seems like you know, and I've seen this before with clients where it's like, hey, something just big just happened, but then it's the last video to be edited. It's the last blog to be posted. So by the time they post it out, there's no viral value to it. So how do you like bounce back and forth when you need to for fresh viral type content? Like it's happening, trending content.
Trending content always takes first priority. So in ClickUp, for example, we have a priority flag, meaning it needs to get done now. And you need to communicate with your team too. So if we are talking viral content, communicate with your team, make sure you have a process in place that marks this as priority. When it comes to 2020 just came around, let's be honest, right? We've all been there. And suddenly we just had to stop everything because something just happened again. A Go Up Holds lets us pause everything. So I can go into that evergreen queue and I'm like, right now, I just should go black screen, stop all the promotions, stop all the sales. I just go in and I hit the pause button.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's as easy as that. Now, let's kind of go back a little bit here to talk about, you mentioned simplifying or automating speaker management. And that's really interesting because so many of us are interviewing people on different shows. So talk about what you mean when you say automating, simplifying speaker management and that sort of thing.
So I started my live show. When did I start that? Probably about a year ago now. And one of the biggest time sucks in your case is me right now. Because you need to run after your speaker, you need to get the headshot, you need to get the bio, you need to get the links, you need to get all the stuff. Now I have a speaker page, which was like, here, you got a link, there is everything, just grab whatever you want to have, but that doesn't often happen. You also need to prep your speaker. You want to have like 2 or 3 questions just to get them prepped for the show. You know, all the things. Everybody of us that runs a live show knows how much is happening behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what we have done with this is I start all of that with a questionnaire. I have a form in ClickUp that says, what's your first name? What's your last name? Do you got a link for all your stuff? Do you just want to upload your picture? Do you have 3 questions for me just so I can get you in the right direction and what you want to talk about? Just all the things. Again, remembering all the things we need to ask them. Don't need to do that anymore. It's right in the form. Yeah. The moment they submit the form, it moves that information as a task into my submission list. Yeah. Task list in ClickUp, which then triggers again an automation that says, Yvi, you need to do your work. Go proof that speaker that you have everything. Cool, done. Then it moves it into adding a couple of subtasks that says, okay, imagery needs to get done, description needs to get done, scheduling needs to get done. And then if I do my job right, again, none of us is perfect. And believe me, no email has gone out for my shows in April. Usually an email on Monday goes out that says, hey, I'm so much fun having you on the show. Here's some information. Here is the link to the post. Here is a couple of graphics that you can do. And here's how you're going to join. And just in case you haven't been on a live show yet, go get some headset and please plug into your internet.
Yeah, it's so funny you talk about no emails have gone out in April because nobody's perfect. I get it. We actually just hired an email writer because it's one of those things like getting, it's not just getting the content to the platform, right? Going live or recording the video and editing it. It's getting it out there, and where do you get it out, and the different ways that you do that. So walk us through some more. We talked a little bit about YouTube, and I'd love to unpack that, but Facebook, but there's also like Instagram and LinkedIn and some of the, what are some other automations and some other sort of management processes that you coach your clients to make? Like, what are some of these things that can walk us all the way through? Imagine someone's listening and they're taking notes. Like, which automations did you tell them to make right now?
As I mentioned before, the first automation you should be doing is your daily DMO, the daily method of operation, just to get into the habit of actually task managing. And then
Now, do you do that in okay, so I feel like that can be really hard to do. But this is key. This is one of the big game changers for us. And for me, it was like my Monday tasks. And I put like an 8:30 a.m. or a 10 a.m. sort of timeline on it, because that kept me efficient, right? I can either like go through your email Monday mornings, and that's a check in my task list. But then I could do that at any time. I'll do that later. And now it's killed the purpose. So it's like, now it's like on Mondays, it's, inbox from 10 to, let's just go with 8. It's inbox from 8 to 8:30, right? And then it's review edited videos from 8:30 to 9. And then from 9, it's like from 9 to 11 is like appointment time, that sort of thing. But I attach those things to timelines so that I'm motivated to get them done. Do you recommend that? Is there a better way? Is that a good way? Are there other ways? Like, what are your thoughts on actually assigning those tasks in a way so that they get done?
Yes. So when I'm talking DMO, that's exactly what I mean. You need to assign that stuff to you, and you need to set a due date. Now, with getting into those habits, with really doing the thing, because we all run into this issue. Again, it's like, just because the task is there doesn't mean you do it.
Right.
There is a lot of personal growth and a lot of self-analysis that needs to happen. And what I always preach is, first of all, try to connect things. Meaning, I'll be recording YouTube videos today because this whole phase took an hour to put together.
Yeah,
I'm not going to waste that time.
My wife says the same thing.
It's like, you guys have it easy. It's like, yeah, done. Awesome.
Hey, I get why you say that. It takes me less time, and yet I do still take a lot of time. I moisturize my face. You know what I mean? Like, folks, this is not, you don't get this. Just, you don't wake up like this. You know what I mean? But I get what you mean. Because like, you're going to be on video. It's going to be immortalized forever, what you're going to do that day. And so like, there are days when I don't shave. I don't wear cool shirts. Like today, I'm wearing my Watch TV Zombie shirt. I do that because I'm making videos today. Whereas, on a day where I'm not making videos, which is why it's so important to know when you're making videos and when you're not. You know what I mean? Because you get more out of your day that way.
And getting into the habit of really getting things done, there is multiple things that come in. One of the things is batching, as that's what we are talking about right now.
Yeah.
Making, and not just making use of your cute face and recording videos when you're all dolled up, but also brain power. Brain power is a big thing when it comes to really sticking to things. Meaning, when I'm in the efficiency mode, when I'm in the video mode, I know exactly what's going on, and that's where my brain is. I'm not going to touch the damn email because it's just like draining work.
Yeah.
So keeping your brain in that type of work for at least half the day, if not the full day, is going to make you more efficient, because you don't have to switch lanes in between.
Yeah, I love that. I'm just going to give you a little round of applause here. Because I love what you said about personal development, because you really have to grow as a person to be this efficient. And I mean, I don't say this out loud because it's rude, but like I'll say to my wife, like, I am more productive than most people I know who were very much younger. And it's not that I'm a better person, but there's a discipline skill. For me, cancer disciplined me and was like, you have to get more done in a different way. So I began to block schedule. this was a big one for me, where it was like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are a flow. That's a cadence. I try to do the same activities on Mondays, Wednesdays, and then Fridays are a neutral. So for example, Mondays for me are content planning. This is the only show I do on Mondays. The rest of the day is largely content planning. As an example, Carlos and I were on a 2-hour content meeting before this show. So now we know what we're going to produce on Wednesday. Thursday is cleanup. Whatever we didn't finish, I'll finish on Friday. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my energy is in one place versus Tuesdays and Thursdays, which are more client-based, CEO type work. Now, why do I do that? Because going between like, oh, I'm going to make a video, but first I'm going to like hire someone, you are in way different energy mode. I forget what you call it. I call it energy management, where you're not breaking your momentum, but your momentum is at least going in the in the same way. So block scheduling is really good. How do you help your clients like unpack what they're doing on like Monday, let's say, versus like I should do that on Wednesday, or I should do this on Thursday? You know, actually deciding, maybe somebody is doing their email on Wednesday, but they should do it on Monday. How do you help us decide what should be done that day?
It's a combination of, first of all, looking at data. I'm a data person. If something needs to happen on a certain day, no matter if it's website traffic, if it's YouTube, I'm like, YouTube analytics, when are you going to post the video? You have the data to look at to make that decision.
Good.
But we are also looking at the person themselves. It's one of the big things that always annoys the living hell out of me is people that say you have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be productive.
Yeah.
Guess what? Half of my friend circle is the most productive at midnight, and they go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So listening to yourself, if it has to be, start a journal. How did you feel when you do the testing? Get the data. Just like we do with YouTube or whatever. Grab your iPad, note down, okay, I've tried 4 months getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. This is not working for me.
Yeah.
Let's try 5, let's try 6, and test yourself.
So good.
Same with the brain power aspect of things, not even just in the batching, but also the task management. So we decided on our days, we figured it out, we analyzed ourselves, and as well as when things just have to happen. So we figured out how we are batching our days or how we are blocking our days. But there's going to be tasks that are going to drain you. There is tasks that are just neutral, and there's tasks that are going to energize you.
Yeah.
Now, starting to actually record those, I have a little custom field in ClickUp that is called brain power, where it says, okay, this is draining, this is energizing, and this is neutral. So now in those days, you can crank out, I am energetic in the morning, but by 4 o'clock, or hell no, don't try to have a client call with me.
Yeah.
I know that because I've done the research, I've done the testing. So the high brain power ones start in the morning. I might put another energizing afterwards just to get me back up after I drained myself. And in the afternoon, it's the neutral things, you know, just the admin stuff where you don't have to think.
Yeah.
Now you didn't just optimize your week, you also optimized your day.
You optimize your life when you do that. Like we all have a finite amount of energy. It's written in the stars, like that now I'm not gonna get too crazy, but like your genes only partially decide how long you live. There's also this thing called epigenetics, right? Which determine which genes get turned on and off. And so you can limit your life literally by focusing on work that's draining, because what you're doing is you're turning on DNA that's like, you know, slow down, scale down. And eventually, you know, you don't want to leave this world too early. So how do you get honest with yourself, and how do you sort of like, it's draining work, but damn, it has to get done. Like, what do you do with that line there?
Where do you want to take this? The oh my God, I don't want to do it. That's pretty much the first thing to outsource. Love video, hate editing. That was the first thing I outsourced. And there is perfect example, actually, because there's multiple things that happened the moment I outsourced my video editing. I know how to do it. I'm not too bad at it. I'm not too good at it either, but I know my way around it. But the moment I outsourced, not only did I don't have the stress anymore of, oh my God, I still need to edit that video because it's taken care of.
Yeah.
I now also have the accountability that I need to have my footage to my editor by that day.
Yeah.
So now I build that outside trigger of, you want a YouTube video to go up on Tuesday, you better submit the raw footage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
You got to work around it.
That accountability, right, I think is really key too. And having that due date where you've got an editor, for example, we have 2 editors, and if he doesn't have his footage by Thursday, I've now paid for an editor for whom did no work. Like no work was done. It wasn't his fault either. It was our fault for not getting footage there. And I know what that costs me, to not have my editors have footage to work on. So let's kind of like bring it back to business automations and get real tactical here. Let's talk about customer acquisition and getting customers. And this might even be getting leads or posting things that get leads. What are some of your favorite business automations? Like, walk us through kind of the steps of some really great customer acquisition or customer onboarding automations that we can use to actually grow our revenue.
We all want to make money, right? Which means we are out there live streaming YouTube. The goal is bringing in clients.
Yeah.
Now we are running into the same issue as we talked before with the speaker management of, cool, now we have this client, but you're going to need this information and that information, and you want them to pay and they need to sign a contract. There is so many things that have to happen. Yeah. My favorite, Dubsado. Dubsado for me allows me to have, let's step back for a second. Don't do custom quotes. 95% of the time, custom quotes are not needed. You always can box your offers into some kind of pricing scheme.
Yeah.
And then, do you want this or do you want that? Easy solution.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's possible. Even if you think you cannot sell your services outside of a custom proposal, I promise you can.
Custom proposals are the devil. Custom proposals.
They never get done.
No.
They always look crappy and they take way too much time.
They take too much time. And you know what happens is you tell your client, oh yeah, I'll get that to you tomorrow. And it's 3 days and you think it's no big deal. But the client didn't say yes, did they? They're still thinking about it. This was a big problem I had in my company originally on. And we even bought proposal software templates, like $500 a year. And they're fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we didn't go through that mindset shift of stop making custom proposals. So even though we were using a software to like systemize it, I still went in there every time and like,
you still got to make them custom.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's the thing is that it's just package A, B, or C. Yep. And then you fill in the customer's name. Getting off of that train changed a lot for us. Okay. So
we got those packages, right?
Yeah.
That packages means you can grab that client and send out that proposal the moment they say, how can I pay you?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, with a tool like Dubsado, what it allows me to do is I have a public proposal, meaning anybody that has that link can say, I want that.
Wow.
They fill in the information right on top. So I am already collecting client information. I have first name, last name, address, the whole billing information that I need. Either way, my package is underneath. They choose, cool, done. It then leads straight into the contract. So the moment they hit submit on that proposal, the next page pops up that says, here's the contract, here's what you're supposed to do, here's what Yvi is going to do, cool, sign, done. Which then leads into the first invoice, and they can pay right that moment. There is no hour waiting. There is no 3 days down the road. Literally, the moment I get off a call and even on the call, and the client says, I want to work with you. Cool. Here's the link. Let me help you plug your information in and get this.
That's so good. I hope everybody heard that. When the client says they want to do business, you need to develop a system whereby you can, like, you're sending them the email before they've even left the coffee shop. Let me give you guys an example of this. I used to do home shows, right? Like trade shows, you know. I'm trying to get my head in the center here, by the way. So I would go, I was a videographer. And back in those days, I would rent a table or whatever, and it was a job fair or whatever, and everyone's walking around and seeing the local businesses, and I would have this fishbowl out in front of me. It was like, win a free video for your company. And this automation I had set up when they put their business card in to win a free video, I'd chat with them, but there was no pressure to sell them. It was just, it's building rapport. When they left, I would pull the card out of the fishbowl, go into my email marketing system. We use ActiveCampaign, and you enter their name into your email system, and tell them to add to this list, right? Add to new customer list. So as they're walking away, they're walking away from you, from your booth. And then as they do that, they get this text like, hey, it was great to meet you at the booth today. Right? Yep. You put a blue stripe on the business card, you throw it back in the jar, and you move on to the next person. But super impressive and timely, right? Because they think, hey, if I hire Yvi, my work will get done fast like hers, you know? And do you find that there's sort of like there's sort of a correlation there between when you do really well with a client, they think, I want that. I want someone who works. You know what I mean? Talk about that a little bit, how automations, make you look better in front of your clients.
Especially with this onboarding. So my onboarding at that point isn't done. That is literally just letting them jump in and get what they want to have the moment they want it. Now, after they paid that first invoice, that triggers a workflow that sends out an email that says, cool, we got all your information. All great. Look out within the next 24 hours. You are going to get a questionnaire. Make sure to take about 20, 30 minutes for it. Matters how well you know your way around your own business, but Yvi will send you a coffee to just make it fun. Just make sure you get it on the calendar. 24 hours later, the email goes out saying, hey, I know the form that's coming up is quite intensive, but here you go. Here's a little gift card for Starbucks. Go walk the dog, go grab a coffee. Once you are back with your favorite coffee, let's fill this out so you don't have to spend your time paying me to help you through this, because you got the info. You might just take a little bit longer, and I'll see you at the end of this. And that happens without me ever touching it.
Wow. Now, what do you do about, is there such a thing as over automation? And what I mean by that is, you automate some things that thereby make you appear less human and could sort of damper the relationship. Talk a little bit about that.
There definitely is such a thing as too much automation. You do not want to lose the personal contact with people.
Yeah.
You still want to talk with them. You still have that community, but make those automations fun. In my case, I'm having fun with those emails. There is a Starbucks gift card on the bottom. It's written like it's me.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like an automation.
Are these cards or emails?
Emails.
Okay, so it's an email with now, where do you get the Starbucks card?
So what you can do is you go to Starbucks, you buy a regular gift card, and you screenshot the code on there, make it a JPEG, and add it into that email.
So they could get $50 worth of coffee. They could.
No. So there is a security measure with that. I have a automatic reload at $10, but only for $10. So there is just so much that they can grab from that card just in case that code ever gets out somewhere.
You are an automation wizard. I got to tell you, I had respect for you coming into this call. But now, like, hearing what you're doing the things that I've only dreamed about doing. I love that idea of, because I always knew you could do like a Starbucks card and screenshot, but I didn't think of the minimal reload, the auto reload. I'm thinking about too much stuff to really do. That is brilliant. It really is very, very, very cool. So again, though, so you've got this Starbucks automation. What else? What else do you have in there? Are there other automations that you use to humanize and nurture the client?
In that specific case, that's pretty much then where it stops. The moment they are on board, at the moment I have all of that information, I come in.
Yeah.
So what I automated there is that admin stuff. Now a nice extra, especially when you're a coach or a consultant that works on a monthly retainer.
Yeah.
Dubsado, and I think the question popped up somewhere. The tool that I use for all of this client automation is called Dubsado. It allows me also to automatically
How do we spell that?
Dubsado.
Got it. Please continue.
And if I can say, I do have a coupon code for those guys too.
All right. Yeah. Drop it. Please feel free. You've earned it.
I'm pretty sure it's Ask Yvi or it's Ask Yvi 20. I need to look it up. You're more than welcome. Pop into my YouTube channel, message me. I'm more than happy to check that, guys, for you.
See that YouTube. It's a very good YouTube channel. Over 3,000 subscribers. So
we're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, that monthly billing, which is another reason why you need to put your offerings in a box. Having different charges and different pricing structures and different offers in your monthly packages is a pain in the butt, which then means, again, you can't automate that. With my coaching clients that are on a monthly retainer, the invoice goes out. It's always the same number. And if my client wants, they check a box and say, just auto bill me in the future. I don't want to deal with it. Just take it from my cart. And it's all happening in itself.
Yeah. Wow. Fantastic. Now, here's where I struggle. Okay. It's the hardest part of what I do is closing up the deal. So the client had a great time with us, got a ton of success, ton of victories. And we sort of have maybe a miniature offboarding call. But then it's like we lose touch forever, and I hate it. I really would love to be in a place of sending a thank you gift, of doing a follow-up, of putting them in some sort of like referral or renew type automation to get them to come back to the company or at least refer us. Do you have any automations for the post-sale or like post-fulfillment?
There are definitely automations out there where you can use Zapier, for example, and I think SenderCard does that too, where you can do follow-ups or you can do birthday gifts. Snail mail is the thing right now because still, even though we've been preaching it for over a year or two, people are still not doing it enough. So there is automations that you can connect to specific data points that says, go send them something. Now, what we do in the client journey, in my ClickUp, I have active clients and then I have what I call past clients or inactive clients.
Yeah.
The moment they move in there, they also get marked with the date. So 2 months later, 3 months later, whatever you decide that time frame is, I want to check in with them again and follow up and be like, hey, by the way, you just popped up on my calendar. I wanted to see how you're doing.
That's so good.
Just to keep that going. But you also, again, can trigger in that client intake form, when you start working with them, ask them for their birthday. You are already asking them a whole bunch of questions. They're not going to ask why you're asking for their birthday.
Yeah.
And send something.
Yeah, it's
Take
good.
that information, plug it into something that automatically can send it out. I think SenderCard has those birthday thingies going on. The moment it's in there, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
I used them for a while and probably something I should have outsourced because the process was too lengthy for me. It took too much time. Now, I'm not to say that that's bad. I just didn't have the wherewithal to do that. But I always liked the idea.
That's perfect where your outsourcing comes in. So, for example, again, using ClickUp, no idea how much of that might be possible in Asana. I left them way too long ago. But in ClickUp, for example, what I can do is when I take a client from active and they move into my inactive clients list, that can trigger that a subtask gets added to that client that then says, okay, client onboarding, send them an email, add them to this, do that, and automatically assign the VA. That is my community manager. That's my engagement manager, whoever is going to take care of that. So you don't have to think about it. So you have the automation of, okay, they just turned inactive. What happens now? Hand that off to whoever's going to take care of it.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yvi, I love it. So much good stuff. I'm sorry we have to end it here, but you have a wealth of resources that we can learn from. How can we continue the conversation with you and learn more about creating automations like this?
The easiest, you guys are probably most already on YouTube, is on my Ask Yvi YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ask Yvi, and that is ASKYVI, and pretty much anywhere else as Ask Yvi.
That's awesome. And I highly recommending, geez Louise, I get to the end of the show and I lose it. Highly recommend following Yvi. She's great. You guys saw that she's great, but you know, like the thought leaders and the industry leaders that we hang out with, they all talk about her when it comes to getting organized. So go follow her stuff, check out her free offers, and see if automating some of your business, some of your content creation could be exactly what you're looking for. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and for the love of all that's holy, go to epiclivevideo.com and start using Restream. When you do, you can actually get a whole bunch of free graphics from me. We'll send you guys some training. Just go get your account over at epiclivevideo.com and then come over here and let me know that you've got an account with them. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Owen Video, and we will see you next time.